Let's take you to Plateau State, where there seems to be a familiar drama in the Plateau House of Assembly. Yesterday, when the Speaker, Nuhu Abak, was impeached by 8 members of the House, the member representing Pengana constituency, Yakubu Sanda, was named as the new Speaker. He was removed in the early hours of Thursday by lawmakers from the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, who were escorted into the chambers amidst tight security. The embattled Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Nuhu Abak, says he will continue to stand for truth, justice, and the rights of the Plateau people. Honorable Abak stated this on Thursday, shortly after 8 legislatures in the state impeached him as Speaker of the Plateau Parliament. According to the embattled lawmaker, the development is only giving him more strength to stand for the people. Meanwhile, the Not Too Young to Run movement is condemning the removal of Mr. Ayuba Abak as a Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. They are addressing the news conference today in Abuja. The convener of the movement, Mr. Samson Itodo, explains that the impeachment process is illegal and cannot stand. Take a listen to him.
8 members of the Plateau State House of Assembly convened an unlawful sitting of the House. At that illegal sitting, they initiated impeachment, an impeachment proceeding on the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Honorable Nuhu Abak, one of Nigeria's young speakers of parliament. The purported impeachment violates the procedure stipulated by the Constitution for the impeachment of a duly elected Speaker of the House of Assembly. Section 92, sub 2, paragraph C of the 1999 Constitution as amended provides that a Speaker can only be removed from office by a resolution or vote of not less than 2/3 majority of members of the House of Assembly. By virtue of this provision, a minimum of 16 members of the House of 24 people would have.
All right, you heard what the provision of the law says. So let's speak to the different sides of the divide in the Plateau State House of Assembly involving all of these imbroglio. I'm being joined now by Honorable Daniel Nalong, who is the chairman of the majority leader of the House. He joins us virtually. And now we're being joined here in the studio by Honorable Philip Dasong, who is the chairman of the House Committee on Information and Information in this Plateau State House of Assembly. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us.
So
I understand that we'll soon get to see the Honorable member that is joining us virtually, Honorable Nalong.
Daniel.
What happened? Were you there at the moment when the Speaker was impeached?
Good evening, Nigerians. I'm Dasun Philip Peter, member representing Pankshin North in the Plateau State House of Assembly and the chairman House Committee on Information. I was there. We got an information very early in the morning that our colleagues were in the Assembly attempting to impeach our Speaker that was duly elected by the 24 of us. Now, before that day, we had a clue of it, that something like that was going to happen. But we never suspected that the timing was going to be that early. When we got the information, we rushed into the Assembly.
How many of you were there?
At the point I arrived, 7 were in, plus myself, 8.
8. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very quick question.
Go ahead.
The questions are to give our viewers a sense of what is happening. So you have 24 members in the House,
yes,
representing the whole of Plateau State.
Yes.
Now, to form a quorum to sit, how many members do you need?
To form a quorum to sit, we need 16 members.
You need 16 members, and
yes,
you were 8.
Yes, we were
Did
8.
You meet in the House chambers?
Yes, inside the House
You met
chambers.
in the House chambers?
Yes.
Who presided over the sitting?
It was the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Saleh Shehu.
He has the powers under law to convene it. But what time of the day did they convene them?
6:30 a.m., which negates our House rule. 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m.
Yes.
What is the prescribed time to set up to sit for the
Our
sitting?
House rule is 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
That is the House rule.
That is the House rule.
So you got the information that there's going to be something like that. So you rushed there.
I rushed in.
So what did you participate, because you are one of those who opposed the impeachment?
Yes, my participation was on the opposition side, trying to halt the process of the impeachment. It was a coup to me, a political coup. That wasn't an impeachment because the process was not according to legislative practice globally. I arrived there very early. On arrival, I got one of our colleagues, Honorable Henry Dakokol, trying to pass a vote of no confidence on the Speaker. I shouted, I objected it, I attempted to stop the process, but the Deputy Speaker never gave me any opportunity to do so.
So what happened to you?
When I wasn't given opportunity
7 people voted for impeachment.
Yes.
You voted against.
I even rushed to pick the mace to go away with it because
you wanted to carry the mace.
I even picked it.
So you did what usually you always see
Yes,
on TV.
that was the only legal instrument that allowed them to do that assignment. So I decided to take it off the table. So at the point I was taking it off, I was almost going out with it. A colleague of mine, Right Honorable Baba Hassan, hit me down. I fell, hit me again. I was on blood. I had to run, then return back. At the point I was coming back, my other colleagues rushed in to salvage the situation. And at that point, one of our colleagues, Honorable Danton, came pick up the mace, went with it. They were battling with the mace. At the point they were battling, that was when the purported coup took place.
All right. So was Honorable Nalong at that sitting?
Yes, he was at the
All
sitting.
right. He's joining us now. I understand now that his connection is clear enough. Thank you so much, Honorable Nalong, for joining us. I asked some basic questions just to put premise and give our viewers an understanding. You are 24 in the House. 8 people sat on that for today on the morning of yesterday, Thursday. And you are supposed to be 16 to be able to form a quorum to sit. Now, is it 16 now to sit, to form a quorum?
Yeah.
Now, give us a sense of what happened. Why was the sitting, the plenary, called at 6:30 a.m. and why did you move for the impeachment of the Speaker?
Shehu, thank you very much for this good question. Let me clear the air to correct an impression that at the time we arrived at the chamber was 6 o'clock. That is not true. Again, we were at the chamber by 8 when we were making an attempt to go in and the chamber was locked. So we had to look for the sergeant at arms to bring the key to the chamber before we get entrance to the chamber. And as at that time when we came in, let me also say this, that to form a quorum to sit, it is not 16, but 8. But the requirement for the removal of the Speaker is that you need the 2/3 of the 24 members of the House of Assembly. So when we met, thank God, it's interesting that the person that I'm speaking with, who is my deputy majority leader, was at the sitting alongside other PDP members who were present. The total numbers of people that were present at that sitting were 17. And every legislative process that is required for the removal of the Speaker was followed. And I challenged him too, that he was one of the persons who also signed, put his name, signed the 16 list that we have for the removal of the Speaker. Let him deny that he didn't sign that document.
Honorable Nalong, I'm going to also ask you some quick questions just to put perspective into our conversation tonight. Your House rules, what time does it specify that you need to sit for plenary?
The House rules is very clear that we can sit by 9, but that, again, in the same House rules, makes a provision that where the House deems fit, based on the necessity, the House can suspend that order and give room for members to sit. So we have suspended that order to allow the House to proceed with the sitting.
So quickly, another question will be, you stated yourself that you need 16 to 3rd to impeach the Speaker, but 8 members were there. 7 voted for the impeachment of the Speaker. Is that right?
Let me also correct an impression. Say, in our House rules, the proceeding for the removal of the Speaker, first, you must be able to secure 60 members who will append their signature for the removal of the Speaker. Then it will follow by a motion that will be raised by a member to call the attention of the Speaker that before him is 16 signatures that are calling for the removal of the Speaker. When he moves that motion, there must be a support. The motion.
So, but let me allow you to react. Let me pick it from there. Did you sign?
I did not sign anything. There was no...
Were there signatures?
There were no signatures. I was there. The paper that was presented was just a jotter, empty on the table. I was there. I saw it. And let me speak clearly. He said a notice of motion will be served to the Speaker. Was the Speaker at that sitting? He wasn't.
Was a motion served on the Speaker?
It wasn't served on him. He wasn't even aware. The Speaker was not there. The aide he mentioned, was the Speaker there?
I mean, I'm not sure your rule states that it must be there, but it says it must be served.
Yes, it must be served.
But was it served?
It wasn't served, one. Two, he lied. He lied in the sense that they started the plenary, the sitting around 8. Before 8, they had concluded. I left the chambers some few minutes after 7. At the point they finished their hollow-bellow brouhaha and political snitch, I call it a political coup, because that is not impeachment process. You will need a 16-member to make the minimum of 2/3 majority required by Constitution. Section 92, Article 2C says you will need a 2/3 majority to impeach the Speaker. That is not gotten.
So let me ask you. I know in an impeachment process is fundamentally a political matter, a legal matter prompted by a political situation.
Yes.
So what really happened? Who is behind this?
I don't want to call any name. But
are you a member of the APC?
Yes, I'm a member of the. I am the deputy majority leader.
Okay. So
I'm a member of the APC.
So whatever is happening in your party, isn't it?
Yes. No, not in my party, in the assembly. Because the house is made up of both PDP and APC.
I know, but you are in the majority.
Yes, we are in the majority.
How many PDP members are there?
9.
9. So they are in the minority.
They are in the minority.
So the question is that whatever has happened that has happened because of what is happening in your party.
Yes.
So what was it?
They said vote of no confidence.
Where is that coming from? Why?
From the very few 7.
Has the Speaker done something wrong?
To me, he hasn't done anything wrong. Because
from your own point of view?
Yes, from my own point of view. Because in the content of the impeachment they presented, they said vote of no confidence without any reason attached to it.
But politically speaking, what can you tell Nigerians the truth? Because the man has been Speaker all along for at least almost 2 years or more, and he was not impeached. Why the impeachment today?
Truth,
yesterday?
As you said, can we tell Nigerians the truth? There is suspicion somewhere.
That what?
Suspicion of an intention of the Speaker to move to a different party. That is a suspicion which was not concluded.
Let me hear from Honorable Nalong. If he's back, we lost his connection. Is that true? Is that the reason because he wants to move from the APC? Is that the reason why the impeachment was served on him?
Shehu, let me say that this is a whimpering of a dying cow. The truth of the matter is that the Speaker has question to answer. It's been since August. The Speaker has refused to reconvene the House. The simple reason is because we have asked the Speaker to account for his stewardship, because the House is autonomous. Our spending, there is a law that guides the regulation on how finance of the House should be spent and how decisions should be taken. He is a principal officer. I asked him this question: when was the last time the Speaker called for principal officers meeting when issues will be deliberated? The Speaker has a tendency of taking unilateral decision. He operates with dictatorial tendencies that no issues are deliberated before we go for executive session. Today we have asked the Speaker to render his account because of the reckless spending, that today there is a budget before us. We have a subhead that is supposed to be funded by the House of Assembly. And we have asked him. The Speaker said that there is no money. He knows what I'm talking about. And also, let me also make it very clear that...
Yeah, we need to close now. Quickly, let's wrap up in just 20 seconds. Let me get your 20 seconds.
Any financial misappropriation by the Speaker is to him together with the Speaker, because he's the closest ally to the Speaker, next to me. So if he is claiming that since August there had never been any principal officer sitting, he's lying. We met 3 weeks ago, preparatory to presentation of budget. The governor presented budget 1 week ago. I'm a principal officer, he's one. He's majority leader, I'm deputy majority leader. Let's keep politics aside. We are not saying that there shouldn't be impeachment, but let the due process be followed.
So your final word in 20 seconds, Honorable Nalong. We lost him again there. Well, we need to close now. I must sincerely thank both of you, and we hope that peace will return to the House that is obviously now very divided.
Having 2 speakers. 1 legal speaker, 1 illegal speaker.
That's
yes.
That's a crisis you need to resolve. Thank you so much, Honorable, for coming tonight. Honorable Nalong, also thank you so much for coming. That's our program for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.